Let's talk about cosmic OBEs. I went galactic, now I'm going to go cosmic, but then I'm going to go back to galactic because it is so important, but not in this video. This video, I want to talk about cosmic OBEs, meaning the type of OBEs you have where you have no body. You're completely out of time. You're not in any construct whatsoever. You are in what a lot of people call the void. I like to call it the womb, all right? You're going all the way back to what is nothing, no thing, nothingness. Now, first, I want to say that you can indeed have OBEs where you have no body at all, but you're still within a constructed world. So those are the type of out-of-body experiences where you literally have no body, nothing, right? But you're engulfed into a reality. And when I say engulfed, I mean that it's not like it's in your mind's eye or that you're remote viewing or anything like that. You're actually in the reality and you're in that world, but there is no body. So you can see around you, you can see what's there, all of these things. But when you look down, there's no arms, there's no legs, there's no hands, there's no nothing. So you're just pure consciousness that projected itself into a world and you can observe. Now, when you're in those type of realities or those type of experiences, usually what you're observing is just simply whatever is there in that reality. No one knows you are there. It's like being in the air and no one even knows you're there because they can't see you. So physical beings cannot see you, and some in the spirit realm cannot see you either, which is very interesting, but some can, and I'll talk about that in a minute. They can't see you. You're just there, and you just observe. Now, sometimes you're in certain realities where you are observing simulations. Some beings communicate with you through simulations. So your consciousness is in the reality. It's a simulated world. It's not like a world where people are living there. So for an example, if they're showing you a battle and these, I'm going to call them spaceships. I'm using that term because most people know what I mean when I say space, like it's shaped like what we would perceive a spaceship to be. All right. The beams that are coming out of the ships toward each other, they're not hitting each other and then the ships like explode. They're like beams that are just coming out like it's playing. Like they're coming out like a toy, like a kid's toy, right? So it's not hitting anybody, but they're just like light beams that's coming. So they're showing you a scenario that is playing out so that you can jog your memory about other lifetimes that you had incarnated in. A lot of galactic beings will do this, okay? Your pure consciousness, you're watching something play out, and this is how they are assisting you with remembering certain things, okay? That can happen. That happened to me, and then the next scene, so to speak, I was in darkness, pure consciousness, and not engulfed in a world. And then there was a screen that showed, and then there was some interactions that happened. All right. And these type of interactions that happen when a being or a person, they show themselves as being human. All right. And they were on a screen and they reached out to hand me a book. I talked about this in one of the videos when I said astral travel versus other OBEs. They reached out and handed me a book, but I have no body and I'm in darkness, complete. There's nothing there on the sides, behind. There's nothing except for this screen in front of me. They reached out and handed me a book, but because I didn't have any hands, the book started floating like this. Now, this has happened before. There are spirits and there are galactic beings that are not spirits, but they're very high dimensional, that interact with you like this. And when they hand you something, you can't take it, so it just floats. And so what you do is you consciously focus on that thing floating, and you have set an intention for it to stop moving around like that. Because if there's words on it, you need to read it. You're not going to read it going like this. Have it stop. You use your mind because that's all you are right now, consciousness, and the mind aspect of the consciousness that you are. You stop it, and then you can read. And I've had many things appear that way where beings didn't. There's been papers There's been objects, there's been different things that have appeared in that type of way. Sometimes when the papers appear, there's no screen, so to speak, at all. It's just an object appearing in the nothingness that has information for me to read and absorb in my language, in English, right? So that's one thing. But there's other experiences where you're not even in a world for that to even happen. And this is when you come up out of all of these constructed realities, which permeate each other, by the way, because traveling from point A to point B is not even a thing. That's how we are perceiving it. Traveling is really vibrating at different frequencies. I want to put that out there. I've said that before. I don't know, many people, maybe they didn't catch that or whatever, but traveling is really, you are vibrating at different frequencies, okay? But we think that we're going somewhere, which is why it makes sense to talk in that way so that people who are seeking information and trying to understand, I'm saying it in a way that we as human beings can understand, okay? Now, when it comes to being pure consciousness and you are completely out of these constructed realities, there is nothing to see. Like when people say that they're out of a construct, but they're able to reach out and see this and see that, and then there's flat this or whatever the case may be, that is a construct. They may be out of lower densities and in a higher density, or I really don't like using higher and lower, but it just makes sense to use that from a human perspective. They may be in a lighter density, but if you can reach and touch something, if you can see objects or something out there, you are within a constructed world because somebody created that thing, the object or the land or the environment that you see. To be completely out of all constructed realities is to be in what we know of as darkness. Okay, and a lot of people call it the void, 0 point, whatever you want to call it. I like to call it the womb. The womb gives birth to life. So in other words, darkness gives birth to light. Darkness is all light combined, or you can look at it as all light that is not expressing yet. When that light expresses as the I am, you see light, and the light has projected itself and formed itself in many different ways. Okay? Now, you as pure consciousness, inside of this dark womb, in order to get into a world, what will appear is different screens, so to speak, within the darkness. Now, I had a client that actually, for him, they showed up as little bubbles. For me, they didn't show up as bubbles. They were like little screens. Some of them were rectangular and some were circular, all right? And what I mean by that is it wasn't like a rectangle here, a circle there, and all of that. Sometimes when I'm in this nothingness, I will see a circular shape here, a circular shape here, a circular shape here. Another time, it may be rectangular, 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 rectangular. It's like there's different screens. That's the best way to describe it. It's very challenging with some of the experiences to put into words. It really is. But that's the best way I can describe it. And so what I can do is decide which one of these screens I want to go into, because what's happening in the screens there are scenarios that are playing out. These are different realities. And you choose which one you want to go into. And you pull yourself into it through your mind, through the mind aspect of consciousness, by simply focusing on a point inside of that screen. And you will pull yourself, you can actually feel it at this point. You feel the pull in there, and you go and have your experience. Okay? Now, This can happen with actual realities that are, okay, I don't wanna confuse anybody between, the difference between a dream and because everything is a dream. I'll just keep it simple. You can pull yourself into a reality, okay? Now, these type of out-of-body experiences are the type where you really don't feel that it's how do I say this? So, with many of us, you know when the OBE is gonna start because something happens right before it. So, you may hear popping sounds, swishing sounds, wind noises, or the vibrations. It's like that power up of the feeling, and there's so many ways in which that happens. And the vibrations start, and then next thing you know, you may feel yourself being pulled out of your body. Well, not pulled, but you're actually doing you're lifting out. You may levitate out. Um, there's so many different ways that happen, and sometimes you don't feel a pull at all. But there's something that, even if it's just a swishing sound to tell you you're about to come out of body, something is going to happen that lets you know you're about to have an OBE of some sort. Well, with these type of OBEs, that usually does not happen. It could, but it usually does not. You literally switch over very quickly from just being here, whether you're sitting or laying or whatever, and all of a sudden you're viewing from the perspective of nothingness. It just happens, right? And it's so smooth. You don't even know that you're out of body. You don't know that you're not perceiving from this physical body until you realize because and here's the thing. The reason why you don't know, if you're all in darkness and then you feel yourself you so if you're in complete darkness and you're out of your body and there's nothing there, you may think you just have your eyes closed or whatever, just time to open your eyes and what, but you're not in your body. And then if you're out of your body and you see something going on in front of you that's on a screen, so to speak, and even if it's not on a screen, but it's like in the distance and you're just surrounded by darkness, you still don't consciously it doesn't hit you at first that you're out of your body because it just happened so smoothly. It just happened so quickly. It just happened. And there was no power up. There was no nothing letting you know that something is about to happen. It happens like that sometimes. So now I want to address some of the things that some of the know-it-alls and the trolls and whatnot have been saying, hijacking my comments. Some I've had to delete because they were disrespectful, very disrespectful. Others I just left there. And I want to say this, for those of you who really want to know the truth, I've said this over and over again, your experience trumps everything else. It doesn't matter what I say, what anyone else says. Follow your experience. Your experience is very important. And that's why it's important for you to connect with your galactic soul family because they will share information with you in various different ways. A lot of people meditate and receive information, but those of you having OBEs, you're going to where some of the information that people are receiving, you're actually going there instead of sitting in a chair receiving the information. You're going where the information is coming from, and that's very powerful. Okay, so let go of the noise. Let go of all these people that want to act like they know everything and all these things. What they know is what has been taught to them and what has been given to them. There's somebody that was in my comments talking about 3.2 and all these other things. Anytime you use number, you're talking about galactic type of experience here because galactic beings, they're mathematicians and they're scientists. And their math level and their science, the way in which they know math and science is far beyond any genius in this reality. I'm telling you. They know this stuff and they've allowed for this stuff to come down into people's minds in this reality. And then people have ran with it. And that's cool. That's fine. But there's a lot of people that's trying to check me on things like, oh, and being very condescending. That whole thing about, oh, well, you're not going very far. It's a 3.2. And that's good. That's good. But that's not very far. And I'm going to go do my meditation and come back and whatever. Who asked you? These people are something else in social media. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous how they try so hard to be so important. I don't get it. Those of us who have these channels where we're sharing information based on our experiences. Okay, and I'm going to tell you right now, my experience with galactic beings and galactic information is that they are very well versed in high level mathematics to the point where their math is a science. okay? And so anytime anyone uses number, they are talking about how worlds are constructed. Those are constructed worlds that use number. When you go beyond a construct, there is no number. There's none of these things. The science and the numbers, that is all constructed realities. Going beyond the constructs of various worlds, you get to just pure consciousness, which vibrates. It's vibrations and it's frequencies. That's it. Numbers and science explain vibration and frequency. So, if someone's telling you that you're in a particular zone of an OBE, and whoever came up with zones and different things on with out of body experiences, those are usually people who didn't have their OBEs organically. 'Cause just like Robert Monroe, he came up with this whole thing. Wonderful. I've read his books. I think it's great. I think it's a lot of intellectual stuff in there, which is fine for someone who didn't have them organically. You know, he's teaching people, well, he was because he's passed, but his institute is teaching people how to have OBEs, and they talk about the frequencies and beats and all these other things. Wonderful. That's great. And he has like different numbers and all. Okay, wonderful. But I'm telling you right now that is not as, you don't have to get as complicated as, with it as that. That's why I talk to people who only or who have these experiences organically and naturally. We don't have to get all caught up in numbers and all these other type of things, because we're just naturally having these experiences. And so you got these other people who learned it a different way because they learned it. We didn't learn it. We're just having it. But the ones who learned how to, and they're telling you about numbers and you're on this zone and there's that and there's all of this and that, that's intellectual stuff. And if it's intellectual, it is coming from a world that is higher dimensional, that is a construct that explains things in numbers. And there's nothing wrong with that. But these are the same people that try to tell you you're not going here and there, you're doing this and that, and all these other things. Stop it already. Talk about that on your own YouTube channel. My people don't need to be getting confused with all of that stuff. They have organic OBEs, okay? There's no numbers, beats, all this stuff that people are saying. That all that ain't necessary. How far out you're going from this to the other thing and all of this and that, that's all constructed worlds, okay? All of it is constructed. All of it is part of the game. So if you think that you're outside of the game and you're using numbers to explain things, you are not. The game is explained galactically through the use of math. That's where you're getting your numbers from. Once you come up out of the game, there is no number, okay? Another thing I want to talk about, because somebody said something about stars being portals. Yeah, yeah, they're portals. That's not all they are. We are stars. We're made up of the same stuff. Then someone's talked about, well, so why are you saying, if they're portals, why are you saying star systems? A group of stars that are communicating with each other, and they're sending information to each other through the middle of them. Those stars, since there's a group of them, form a system. That is what a system is. You have this, all over here. They're all communicating. They're all flowing with each other. They form a system, all right? Everything that you see and don't see is light. Everything. It's all light, okay? Another word that we have used for light is spirit. All of it. So, stars and planets are the same thing. A planet is a star. I'm a star. You're a star. Everything is a star. But in order to distinguish between the varying ways in which these stars express themselves, we use different names. All of these light forms are communicating with each other through frequency. So there's vibration and there's frequency that's being shot here, there. There's rays of light that come through our sun that's coming into our DNA, and that's how we receive it. And some people receive it through their chakras. There's just information flowing all over the place, coming from the center of the galaxy, which is coming from the center of the universe. You have all these, and there's multiple universes too. So all of this stuff, it doesn't matter what you call it. You have light that is expressing itself in different forms, in different ways, and the different types of light do different things, serve different purposes. So yeah, stars are portals, but that's not all they are. Stars can be lived on, in, and around. Stars communicate with each other, again, through frequency. And there are light beams coming from certain star systems that's bringing information into Earth through the center of our galaxy, going to our sun that we know of as the sun. They have their own name for it. That comes down to us. The sun is a portal. All of these things are portals, but that is not all that they are. So these people hijacking my comments and other people's comments on their channel, they only know bits and pieces. That's why I said in one of the videos, whatever information you get in this reality is just bits and pieces. So you may know something, but you don't even realize that there's something that you know that there's more to it. So you say that something is like this. Yeah, it is like that. And it's like this other thing too. And like that, and like that, and like that, depending on the situation and circumstance. It does more than one thing. Earth does more than one thing. There is a sun somewhere in Earth. How do I know? Because the people on the inside told me that. I have no idea how it's constructed, how it all works, what it looks like. Is it flat, round? I don't care. I'm not concerned about that. But I do know it's there. And so that is some kind of way holding up the frequency of our galaxy. It's like when there are planets or stars that are out of order, it throws the whole damn galaxy off. So it's like people from these other star systems go into certain sectors and they try to fix all that stuff. Like right now, this one's all jacked up. And we contributed to the jacking up of it. I mean, it's like stuff is thrown all over the place and the frequencies need to be balanced out so that the star system itself can be balanced out, so that the galaxy can be balanced out, so that the universe, this particular one, can be balanced out. When we jack stuff up or some other being from somewhere else mess it up, it throws the planets off, the stars off, which throws off the frequency. And then you have certain situations where there have been certain stars that have exploded and certain things that have just jacked all the whole everything up. The stories that you hear are true. There are different timelines, though. And the words that people they use different words in different places. The language that we use here is not the same as the language that other beings and other star systems use. So you got these people, the know-it-alls, that find out that it's called something else because somebody else in another star system or another galaxy is calling it something. And then they bring that information here and try to tell, no, it's not that. It's not a star, it's a this. It's not a galaxy, it's a that. It doesn't matter. Remember in the other video when I said that in the U.S., when it comes to fried potatoes that we call fries, some other places call them chips. Does it matter if it's fries or chips? No, it doesn't matter what you call it. What matters is that it is what it is. So these things are what they are. Call it what you want to call it. If you want to know the truth, instead of bits and pieces, you got to go galactic. And when you go galactic, you'll go cosmic. Because going cosmic is when you come up out of all of the varying games. Angels, dragons, fairies, all of these things, yes, they do exist. But my point of where I'm going with this is that they're all in constructed worlds as well. They don't even call themselves that. We call them that. What do they really call themselves? They know that we're human. They interact with us and use the same language that we use. That's not what they call themselves. They have their own languages and their own ways in which they express themselves that we're not privy to, but they dumb things down in order for us to understand. Because we can be very dumb as humans. But the aspects of us that are not human is highly intelligent. All of you are highly intelligent. You got to stop looking at things from this body. We are not these physical bodies. This is just the vehicle that we use to navigate this particular reality. And we use other vehicles like the etheric body to navigate non-physical realms. There are multiple non-physical realms, multiple worlds, multiple games that we play. The soul is a construct that is used to enter the various games. So if you really want to come up out of all of the games, you're going beyond soul and you are pure spirit, which is pure light, which is pure consciousness, which perceives from a place of darkness that has yet to express the light. Darkness is not evil. It's people who stay in the darkness and don't express that start becoming what we perceive to be as evil because they start not knowing themselves. When light expresses, it knows itself now as, oh, I am. Okay? So again, I say to you, those of you who really want to know the truth, who really want to know who you are, who really want to use your out-of-body experiences as a way to get information to assist you in this reality and other realities. You want your OBEs to be consistent, and you want to make sense of what's happening to you. Some of you are saying you had an OBE way back in the day, but you're having a hard time having it again. The fact that you were able to have it back in the day, there's some alignments that have been made that with people who have never, ever had an OBE at all, or even sleep paralysis, or even any type of mystical experience whatsoever that can lead to an OBE, there's some type of alignments that have not happened with them yet. I'm not talking to them. They're welcome to listen, but that is not my focus. I'm focused on you, that individual who already had certain foundational things be aligned and you don't even know how it happened. It's going to be easier for you to trigger or to experience or induce those OBEs again because you do it through your senses, okay? You can tap into that again intentionally. It's possible. And that's why I'm creating the Mystical Recall Inner Circle. That's the whole point, to really share what I know to help lead you back to you, because no one knows you more than you. So all the noise, focus on you connecting with aspects of yourself that are way more expanded and that can help you. You go galactic, it'll help you go cosmic, all right? And if you need to make sense of all of this, that's what I'm here for. So this will probably be the last video in like a few weeks or so when it comes to YouTube. I need to focus on finishing up creating the videos for the Inner Circle and then focusing on people in there when I launch next week. And then once things start to stabilize and flow, I can start creating more YouTube videos. So it'll probably be about 3 weeks or so before I create another YouTube video. And hopefully you guys have gotten something out of the last few that I've created within the last few days. A lot of people are not watching the whole thing, and they come and they comment, and it's like, I already answered that. So for a video to be 28 minutes long and almost 3,000 views, but the average time that people are watching is 8 minutes, there's a lot of information that people are missing out on. And so there's a lot of people that are getting like the bits and pieces of something and not the whole thing. And so they make a comment and they don't realize that the answer was in the video. You just got to watch the whole thing. You see what I mean? And then there's other people that are looking at other people's comments and they're like, oh, okay, well, she didn't cover that, so I didn't miss anything. No, you did miss something because that person didn't watch the whole video either. Okay? So I'm just going to say that because I've gone on and on at this point. But anyway, again, I'll be back on YouTube as far as videos are concerned in a few weeks. Until that time, much love to you, and I'll see you later.